Okay, today is, what's today's date? I think it's Tuesday the 24th, and it is 2:31 p.m. Now, I'm not Ubering today. What I'm doing is I'm going out and I am going to get my little brother, and pick him up because he wants to see mom and he wants to visit with us and show off his brand new baby. So he's got a little boy, Jaden, Jordan, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. So I'm playing Gopher today. Anyway, I couldn't remember what I wanted to talk to you about today, and it was heavily on my mind. And I said, man, what is this I'm supposed to be talking about today? What was like? And I was listening to Tony Robbins, and I was still just pinging in my head, going, "It's got to be something I was supposed to be talking about today." And then it dawned on me. It was Cougars. I know. Yay! All right. Here's the thing. I know that you think that I'm bragging and boasting and things like that because I have a cub. Actually, I had two. Anyway, but you knew I had to let one go because he had problems, and that was one of the things that I am so grateful that I did have the opportunity to experience what he was going through, mainly because it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I would not have, under any other circumstances, would have known about it. So I really do believe that God brings people into your life for a reason. And now I know what signs to look for, this, that, and the other. Anyway, the other, why I wanted to bring up Cougars and Cubs for, I was watching a TV program. It wasn't Cougar Town. It was another sitcom that I was watching, and this Great Lane's ending. That was worthless. Okay, I'm still driving. And even though that it was a sitcom, it really did define what and who I believe a real cougar is. Because there was one episode it said Cougar versus Panther, and that Panther was vicious. Oof. And she was old, but she was snatching the little 25-year-olds up like it was like candy. Anyway, what I really do believe that what a panther is, or who a panther is a woman that is dating someone that is younger than her, anywhere between 8 to 10 years younger, and sometimes maybe even 15 years younger. Anyway, it's just a woman that is dating an older woman that is dating a younger man. And the definition that I came up with, or the definition that they came up with, that I actually agree with, and I actually put my little spin on it, it's just an older woman who is so confident in herself. Okay, it gets to a certain point in our lives, if we're single, divorced, never been married, widowed, whatever. Here's the truth of the matter is, guys go through their sexual peak early on, like 18, 19, 20 years old. They do. And it's a known fact. Women do not reach their sexual peaks until they get older. Right around the last stages of the last stages of their periods, and going in seeping into menopause. Some may go through it earlier and some don't. Well, here's the thing. I didn't go through mine until I was in my late 30s, early 40s. And I was married at the time, But I was married to someone that the physical attraction wasn't there anymore. Even though the love was there, the trust, the physical attraction wasn't there. And the berating, he always berated me. I think I told you before where he called me a lipstick dyke because my hair was short. Okay? And he would berate, he would just belittle me all the time. All the time. So I had to get away from that. Excuse me. I get away from that poisonous relationship, and I am so happy that I did. It did hurt at first because I was now left alone, and I was scared because I had never really been alone. I always had somebody there with me. I mean, I went from my parents' house to my boyfriend's house, back to my parents' house after we broke up, to my best friend's house, you know, and I've never really been alone. So this was scary because I was in Texas from Chicago. All my family was back home in Chicago. I didn't have nobody out there, and I had to buck it up. I really did. So anyway, I'm veering off. The definition of a cougar is a woman who is so comfortable with her sexuality, with her desires, with her life, with everything that is available for her. I mean, there's a difference between a cougar and a MILF. Okay, the MILF is the younger woman, and you know, the cougar actually is the one who, I got it. All I need is you. I got this. And a majority of the time, the cougars are the ones who are financially fit. They are the ones who are stable in every aspect of their lives. Every aspect. The only thing that they're looking for, and the man that is gravitated towards her is the younger man, because the younger man thinks as though that this is going to be a rite of passage. I talked to Robert, which is a best friend of mine, my BFF. Oh, one of them. I got three, and he was telling me, him and his wife was telling me the same thing. It is a rite of passage for a younger man to be with an older woman, because that older woman is going to be the one who shows him how to love, how to make love, how to really treat a woman. I mean, come on now. If I've had men in my vehicle before where I'm taking them back and forth to their destinations, and I've talked to them, and we've never really gotten on the conversation of relationships or sex or anything like that, but it was the things that they said about their girlfriends, about their wives, about their sisters, about their mothers, that showed me that they either was with an older woman and she showed him how to treat a woman, or else they were mama's boys or they were daddy's boys. The daddy's boys were the ones who, what's his name? I think his name is Dustin or something like that. Attractive guy, but all he was looking at was the girls, but didn't respect her, or me for that matter, to say some of the things that he said about the girl in front of me and his brother that was sitting in the back seat. So with that being said, I saw that, you know, they were raised by their dad, which was, he didn't quit it. There's no excuse me, there's no long-term relationship, there's no respect, there's nothing there. Now, I don't know if they were trying to just, you know, act an ass in front of me, or if this is the way that they actually acted around each other, around anybody. This is them, and they owned it. Anyway, um, no, my little brother is nothing like that. He was raised around women. We beat the shit out of him and made him do right. Anyway, when I was looking at my life and my desires and the things that I wanted, especially now that I was now divorced, I was attracting younger men, and I loved it. I loved the attention. That made me get up, and it made me do things that I would not have necessarily done. It made me go to the gym. It made me take care of my body more. It made me take care of me, all of me, mind, body, and soul. It made me do that, mainly because when I step out with a younger man, I don't want the other bitches to be saying, who the hell is that? And he's with his mama. Oh no, that ain't on his mama, not the way he kissing on her. There you go. And I'm not interested in a full-time relationship with him. And it's not always physical. It's more on the lines of making me feel good about myself. If I'm attracting someone who's 28, 29 years old, and I'm not 28, 29 years old, yeah, that makes you feel good. I don't necessarily have to screw every guy that I come across. You know, that's not me. I do, however, love the attention. I do love the attention. And it is my, it's not a job. It's more like it is my pleasure to tell you or show you how you should treat a woman. And if you're willing to learn how to treat a woman, how to restrain from acting an ass all the time or acting a dick, restrain from calling her names and things like that. Look, I don't care how your mama raised you or how your daddy raised you. It's your peers who are the ones who are actually telling you how to talk to a girl, how to treat a girl, and they are fucking wrong. They're wrong. So even when it comes down to physical relationships with an older woman, I have been told by Robert, and I've never had no physical relationship with him at all. But he was telling me about his rite of passage when he was in his, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and he was with an older woman, and how she showed him what to do. And I get it. Because right now, I know what I want. I know how I want it done. No, you're not banging my head up against the goddamn wall. I am not a dog. You're not pulling my hair. You're not grabbing onto my tits and snatching me around like I'm some little rag doll. If you want me, you're going to treat me gentle. If I want it a little rough, I have it a little rough. If I don't want it rough, we're gonna X this quick. Because I remember when I was younger, and the first time that I actually had sex, it was over with like that, and it pissed me off because I'm like, man, I gave up my virginity for less than a minute. Less than a minute. So with that being said, it pissed me off, and I really did not want sex no more after that. I really didn't, because it made me mad. Anyway, when I was with one of my cubs, did the same thing, and it pissed me off. Dude, don't you know stamina? Don't you know how to? Well, we never really had sex. I'm like, what guy has a girlfriend for 11 years and she did not like sex with you? The addict. Y'all would rather sit up there and get high than to make love to one another. You would rather do something like that than to actually experience one another's bodies. So I didn't have the opportunity in order to go there with him, because like I said, it wasn't, not every relationship or with a cub is about sex, and this was one of them. It wasn't about sex, and I was like, no, you need help. So he was talking to me about, well, I want to learn. No, you don't. You want to get high, and you want to utilize me for your needs. And I was not receiving any needs back, so I cut that one loose. The one that I'm with now, he's an eager beaver, and he's well trained. He tells me all the time. He says he always loved older women, and that's all he's attracted to is older women. And whoever he was with before taught his ass well. I mean, well. And I've thrown in my little 2 cents here or there, what I like. So yeah, it's on gravy. Anyway, the moral of this is that just because I say that I have a cub does not mean that I'm some kind of slut. And you know, and even if you figure it out that I am, because I have another partner, or I am, you know, talking about these younger men, so what? Who out there can throw the first stone? Who's saying that? If you're telling me that you've never had any multiple partners, then congratulations, you're a saint. But when you're talking about being a cougar, being a cub, this is what it entails. It's your obligation in order to, and your privilege in order to guide him in the right direction. If you want to be the dominant and he be submissive, like 50 Shades of Grey, baby, do it. If he's willing to do that, do it. If you're just looking for somebody that, you know, just to have a physical relationship with, because you're not interested in a long-term relationship, do it. Put the guidelines out there first. Let them know, or let him know that no, holy moly, that actually hurts. Oh, my key. Let him know that no, I like you, you know, this, that, and the other. But as far as this being a long-term relationship, it can work, and it has worked. And if this is what you're looking for, then go for it. But to be realistic about this, if he's 25 and you're 45, you know what I mean? By the time that he's 35, you're 55, he's 45, you're 60, you know, by the time that he's 60, no, he's 50, you're not 80, not unless, you know, he breaks down real bad and you keep going up there, it's not gonna work. And sometimes people get that confused with love. And when your cub is broken, because he wants to spend the rest of his life with you, which is fine. And like I said, it has happened. It has. But you have to be honest with yourself and honest with him. If he doesn't have any children, and he's the last one in his family, have that serious talk with him. I understand that we love each other, this and the other, and so forth and so on. But here's the thing: you don't have anybody to carry on your legacy, to carry on your name. In a lot of cultures, this is very important. Very important. The other thing is that, are you serious about this, and are you ready? Because if you're the cougar and you're giving up your heart for this, and he's 20 years younger than you, it's gonna break your heart if you guys get divorced, or if the relationship doesn't work out. It's gonna break your heart. I mean, it'll break your heart regardless, but still. And that's what I have right now with my cub. Let him know, look, I like you. This is what it is. I'm in control. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. Don't you call me, I'll call you, because you're the cougar. You're the one who is in charge of everything. You're the one who calls him. You're the one who makes the plans. You're the one who does what needs to be done, because you're guiding him. Now, the same thing that goes with the older man and the younger lady. He's guiding her. He's showing her what to do. He's showing her what he likes. Now, the difference is that society has accepted the fact that he is the older man that made the similar relationship, and it's great. They love it, and it's been accepted so many times. But when you get the older woman and the younger man, then it's like, ah! So, to those people I say, alright, in the meantime, we're doing the same thing that the older man and the younger girl is doing. That older man is showing that woman what to do. He's showing her how to dress. He's showing her how to act. He's showing her what he likes in the bedroom. Now, in the same thing with an older man and a younger woman, the same thing with a cougar and her cub. You can lead these people to destruction and hand them off as serial killers if you do not talk to them in advance and tell them exactly what's going on. I mean, exactly. This is what this is. I have mad love for you, baby, but I'm not in love with you. And as long as you have an open relationship, an open dialogue with them, you guys should be fine. Leave me your comments. Let me know if this is something that you agree with or disagree or whatever. You know, I do these blogs just about every other day or so when I got something heavy on my mind. And I love sharing with you. Let me know what else you want to talk about. And in the meantime, peace.